Oh!
Yeah. Oh!
Oh!
Don't know why I love you. Don't know why I care.
Oh!
We have been obsessed with The Sopranos. Well, I just finished The Sopranos recently.
Yeah. I finished it 3 or 4 months ago.
Yeah.
After watching it on and off for like a year. You're spoiling the video. You can't put Tony here yet.
It says Tony! So today we are going to be ranking the Sopranos characters in a tier list.
Needless to say, we're very obsessed. We're about to go see them live in concert.
Yeah, today we are going to the Mesa Arts Center to watch a couple of the cast members just talk.
The conflict between Tony and Junior comes to, a real turning point when there's a revelation that Junior actually has an affinity for performing.
The longest fucking question I ever heard.
To celebrate, we are ranking all of the...
Most of the characters.
The ones that matter.
Obviously, Sopranos is like the greatest show ever, so we're going to have to be extremely harsh.
We'll just get this out of the way now. Tony is his own tier.
Yeah,
We're not going to pretend that there's any characters that we like more. I mean, come on. He's the greatest character in the show, one of the greatest characters of all time. No one's going to top him, not even point. He's in Tony tier.
Don't away with the vipers.
And then even like something like an F tier, it's not going to be your typical F tier. It's going to be a very elevated F tier.
Yeah, there are no bad characters on this show. Almost.
Nate?
I think we can both agree Aid's S tier.
Aid
is S tier.
Aid is S tier. Probably.
Come on. There's I hate to go straight swinging out the gate, and I'm gonna be very conservative with my S tiers, but Aid for many reasons. One of the few essentially innocent characters on the show.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. Spoilers for everything.
Spoilers for everything. Yeah.
The saddest death in the show. We'll get to it later, but one of the saddest deaths in the show. I think that's really the turning point, because I always felt the second half of The Sopranos is a lot darker and more depressing, and I really feel like her murder is
the turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is definitely one of the more innocent characters. Like, obviously not legally, because she's still aiding crimes, but like morally,
she's still complicit.
Yeah, but she's the purest of virtue, and like she's more of an optimist than the other characters
compared to what the other people are doing.
And she definitely didn't deserve to die.
No.
And
she was also a businesswoman. She had aspirations. She was, following her passions, using blood money to do so. But that's the characters. That's the show in a nutshell. It's just,
Yeah. I mean, even the FBI was like pretty predatory and taking advantage of her.
Yeah, exactly.
If she was a little naive legally, like they had nothing on her. And if she would have just said like, I'm not saying shit, they would have had nothing.
Easy S tier.
Easy S tier. Oh, God. Okay. Moving on to AJ.
You could have killed those girls.
Now that would have been interesting.
What? What did you just say?
Death just shows the ultimate absurdity of life.
What is this? Are you trying to get me to lose my temper because I'm about to put you through that goddamn window?
See? That's what I mean. Life is absurd.
Okay, AJ... He's going to be lower for me, but the last season, 2 seasons kind of elevate him. He pisses me off so much throughout this.
AJ is perfect as a shitty teenager, and he works really well as a reflection of Tony and Carmela's failures as parents.
Specifically Tony, too, because he ends up walking in his footsteps, basically. He doesn't know how to process.
He is a character that is more interesting when paired with other characters than he is on his own.
Yeah, that's another thing we're gonna have to decide too, because some characters are like strong devices or motivations for other characters. So I mean that technically, like they function in the story, but like if we're just saying like strictly as a character on their own, that's probably going to.
So I would say D tier.
I agree.
Because F is like for actually bad characters.
The last season or 2 saves him.
Yeah, and he's very annoying through most of the show.
He just
understandably, because he's at that age where you are kind of annoying, but so is Veto, and she gets to grow up and be a lot. She's a great character, but yeah, he doesn't get interesting towards the end, and it's too little, too late. D tier.
If this was any other show, he's going to be higher tier. But there's so many moments where he just pisses me off.
This is really depressing to me.
Artie Bucco.
I like Artie.
Artie is one of those characters that the first like 2 or 3 seasons I'd say he's S tier, but then he falls off kind of hard. Not in the sense that he's badly written, he just has nothing to do.
Yeah. Well, and he's kind of one note for a while too.
Yeah.
But as we keep going, he starts, he has that midlife crisis.
Yeah.
He wants to expand his business. He's like...
His marriage is failing.
He really wants to, like... He goes after these young women, including Aid.
Makes a mean rabbit, apparently.
Yeah. I think he's middle of the road just because he's a little one note sometimes because that's what he needs to be, and at the end he kind of falls off. So I would probably say like B or C.
Yeah, I would say B just because I feel like those early seasons where he's actually used are really good.
I really like the episode with the rabbit, and I like the whole subplot when he's feuding with the next guy on the list. And he fucking just socks him right in the face right on his porch. That's awesome. That was so gratifying. Yeah. I was like, fucking finally, dude.
We'll do B tier.
Let's go B tier, and if we get farther down the line and he's not fitting with them one way or the other. Same with AJ. Like, maybe he goes higher or lower.
Yeah. I don't know who this guy is.
Yeah, this is going to be a thing. I don't remember everyone's names.
Yeah. Is this the guy that's in... I'm pretty sure this guy's in Inside Llewyn Davis, too. Hold on. Talk about him as I look this up.
Okay, well, he's like the muscle, and I think he's Leotardo's crew. Yeah. Which kind of starts the rift between them towards like the ender seasons, the later seasons. I would say he's lower on the list just because he doesn't have a lot to do. He's kind of one note, and then I don't even remember what
he's
ends
in The
up.
Sopranos.
What ends up happening.
He is in Inside Llewyn Davis. Benny Fazio. I literally don't remember.
Oh, he's the last scene acting as the getaway driver. I'm gonna say I might say F for now because he's not.
The fact that he's just so, I don't know. I feel like he's F. You have to be like a bad character.
Well,
I just don't remember him.
Well, the thing is, like, we have to be extremely harsh. Like, F tier is obvious. Like, he's not an F character.
Yeah.
He works. All the fucking characters are awesome. I mean, I guess we can put him at D, but there's gonna be someone that's gonna have to be F.
Yeah, no, I already have a few ideas. Do you? Is this Gloria? The car salesman.
Gloria is at least B.
Yeah, that whole arc is actually very interesting. Gloria, that's like season 3, season 4, I think, where Tony has that affair, and it's a sordid affair.
His Gumar.
I don't remember. Well, she's not in it for that long.
Yeah, in her case, I think it's like 2 seasons, maybe one.
But she leaves an impact.
Yeah,
her involvement with Tony leads to their separation, which I think is like an insanely great section of the show.
Yeah.
Specifically the episode where Carmela throws him out. But I would say she's like a solid B or C.
I would say B personally, just because
she's very interesting. She's brief, but she's interesting.
Because she represents a significant change. Well, an attempted change. Like Tony, it affects him drastically, and her death, her suicide, ripples through the end, like the rest of the series for him.
You low-life piece of shit! You know what? Here, take your fucking dinner!
Other Tony.
I think he's A.
Steve Buscemi.
This is talking again like we were talking about when Aid dies, there's a big turn. Other Tony's involvement in Tony Soprano's life also sort of... I mean, it kicks off Phil Leotardo as the main antagonist in the last part of the season. It's a very... They got a very interesting dynamic. Obviously, Tony Soprano feels guilty about not showing up at the job that Tony Blundetto went to jail for. Steve Buscemi's always great.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Him on the run is so great. The scene where Tony shoots him is amazing. He's not like he's like a brief character, but his like involvement defines that whole season and is one of the main things that allows the show to take its darker turn. I would say A, just because I feel. I mean, he's Steve Buscemi.
He gets extra points because he's Steve Buscemi as well. And his arc is so tragic because he wants to be a masseuse. He wants to be out of the game, and then he starts working in that shitty laundromat.
Yep.
and just start seeing all these guys like, oh yeah, you got to get up and, you know, they drop him off at the laundromat after they were out drinking or whatever.
Yeah.
They all go home. They make way more money than him.
Would you want to do a compromise and say top of B tier?
Okay, yeah. That's fine. He's top B.
Yeah.
And I would be, I mean, we can make him A. Do you want to
Fuck
make
it.
him A?
We'll
Fuck
make
it.
him A.
He's A.
He's
He's
an
Steve
A.
Buscemi. All right, let's go. This is obviously S.
That's S.
This is. I mean, look at his shirt.
I fucking...
I love Bobby so much.
Bobby is one of the few... I don't want to say good, because he does murder people.
Murders one person.
Murders one person, and he feels really bad about it.
And that's a great episode, too, because Tony is... He knows he hasn't murdered anyone, and just because they got in that fight, that's like top 5 episodes.
That's, the fight of the cabin.
Because Tony knows he hasn't killed anyone, he makes him do that, and he's like heartbroken. And that I just love that shot at the end where he hugs his daughter, and he's just like glaring into the water, and just like his eyes are so wide, like he knows there's no turning back. Like, that guy's dead.
It's just God.
And he loves trains.
That's one of the funniest part. Him in his like fucking conductor's hat is one of the funniest parts of the show. Yeah, he's one of the few characters who like genuinely loves his wife. When Bobby's wife dies, it's so fucking sad.
The baked ziti subplot is it's heartbreaking.
Him being with Janice kind of sucks. Not in like a writing sense, just because you could tell that like he's just maybe. It's hard to tell his motivations for getting with Janice, but it makes sense. But like, God, Well,
Janice is shitty about it. She like, we'll get to Janice,
exactly.
but she like weasels her way into it, and it feels so gross.
Yeah,
like, and she's just like, we'll talk about Janice later.
Yeah,
he's one of the more earnest characters too. Like, all these characters have ulterior motives. They all have their person that they present.
Yeah,
and then the person they actually are. Bobby, I feel like, is one of the few that actually is more earnest in how he presents. There's less of a gap.
Yeah.
And, like, I just love when he gets offended by things and he's like, what? Like, and he's just so, like...
Where's that fucking money go?
It's gone.
There's a fucking tray in there. I was hungry.
Like, the first half of the show, Bobby is like he's like comic relief. He's Junior's sidekick. But then later in the show, like when Phil Leotardo starts like making the hits or whatever, Bobby like steps up to the plate. He's got a plan. He knows what to do. He becomes much more capable when he's freed from Junior's grasp, and he just really.
But he still cares for Junior.
Yeah, no, he does. He cares for all these people, and it's just his. Yeah, like I said, Aid. It's hard to determine what the more heartbreaking death is.
At least Aid's is off screen.
Yeah.
We see Bobby. He just wanted to get a train.
And AIDS, you know it's coming. As soon as she tells Chris, you know it's coming. Bobby felt out of nowhere.
I don't know. For AIDS, I was thinking like, because the last shot of Chris that you see is he's staring at the family. For a second there, I was like, maybe he did try to kill himself. Yeah. And then once she's in the car with Sylvia, then I'm like, okay, she's dead. Well, and Bobby's too, like. There's that whole shot of like someone else's perspective watching him go in, and then I'm like, this is gonna be a
you can always tell when it's a hit. Yeah,
I thought it was gonna be a bait and switch.
Oh, okay.
And then I was devastated, and then I remember because we played Halo right after. I just sent you a gif of a train, and you're like, I know what this means.
Bobby's death scene I rewatch like weekly because it's just perfectly made.
It's perfectly edited.
Now here's the real question: do we put him above 8 or below? I want to say. I'm
fine either way.
I'm kind of a sexist, so I kind of want to put Bobby above.
God damn it.
But no, because compared, I'm gonna give Aid the top spot because obviously Bobby gets a lot more time, and I feel just as strongly as I do about him about Aid, and Aid's only for like half the show, so whatever. Okay. Aid's better. Also, Aid's hotter than Bobby by an inch. I don't know who this fucking guy is. Is he the guy who Chris kills on a jog? No, that's not.
I think that's the guy that Sylvia murders. We can honestly skip that dude. I don't really care.
D.
Fuck it, F.
Because I don't know what the fuck that is. This guy, I don't remember his name.
That's another Leotardo crew.
But all I remember him from
he sells out Leotardo at the end.
All I remember is him in that scene where Tony curb stomps that guy who.
He pisses me off.
Yeah.
I would say D.
Yeah,
low D.
Low D because, I mean, he's not a bad character.
He's memorable.
He's barely. I don't know what that is. I can't tell who that is. I don't know who that is.
He's one of the lesser guys.
Should we make a new tier that's just don't know?
You gotta change the color. It's gotta be
black. Carmela.
Carmela. Okay.
That's,
obviously yes.
Yeah.
Obviously yes.
Yeah.
That's great. That's fine.
I'm just
I
gonna
would
put
say
above
top.
everyone.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about Carmela is that obviously, Tony Soprano eclipses everyone, but I always felt that Edie Falco didn't get her fair share of the acclaim. Maybe that's not true. She won a bunch of Emmys, but I feel like it's just as much her show as it is his, and she poses a very interesting dynamic in the sense that she is complicit, she is religious, she is supposedly moral, but is she really?
Exactly. Yeah. She struggles with it, but at the end of the day, she enjoys the fur coats.
Yep.
She indulges in all that. I love when she goes to that one psychiatrist and he's like brutal. I think she only visits him once.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't take blood money. And he's like ruthless. Like, this is the problem with new psychiatry.
Yeah.
Or whatever. We just blame everything on our childhood. And
I thought psychiatrists weren't supposed to be judgmental.
Many patients want to be excused for their current predicament because of events that occurred in their childhood. That's what psychiatry has become in America.
Yeah, at the end of the day, she's complicit. More so than Aid, I think. Because, I don't know.
No, she's much more complicit than Aid. I don't know. Aid is not nearly as indulgent in a lot of the riches of mob life. The whole series it's one of the main themes is corruption. And obviously, Tony and everyone, they're already corrupt. They're fucking mob guys. But the corruption angle comes with Carmela's character entirely. She's very interesting. She's amazing performance. Just so many great scenes of her. Obviously, her and Tony fighting. I've always loved the way that she reacts to Chris dying. It's just so much going on.
Yeah,
and she got a lot to do. Easy S tier.
Easy S tier.
I'm not charging you because I won't take blood money. You can't either. One thing you can never say that you haven't been told.
Carmine Sr.
He's fine. I like him because he is above all of the petty shit.
Yeah, he's old. He's like, fuck this. And he's the one that puts his foot down about the joke, which we'll probably talk about later.
Yeah.
But like...
Yeah, when Johnny Sack tries to like get the okay to get a hit out on whoever the fuck, and he's just like, come on.
So for that D.
Yeah. Or high D.
High D? Yeah, under AJ.
I don't want to put any.
I feel like AJ should be C.
Yeah, probably. You're right.
Okay, easy S. That's not Ro. That's
not Ro. That's Artie Bucco's wife. Again, she has the same problems as Artie, is where she just becomes irrelevant like halfway through the show.
She's C. She puts Artie in his place a lot. And I like the scene where she knows he's hitting on that new host or whatever.
Yeah.
And
is there even a discussion for this next one?
Come on.
I almost feel like he needs his own tier as well. I love...
No, what?
You don't want to know, okay? Trust me.
No, what?
I heard the nurse say you made number 2 in your pants. Is that what happened?
Get the car. Please, can we just go to Brendan's, score some shit, and find out what the fuck is going on?
Chris has everything. There's a tragedy to his character. Again, there's a lot of people, dumb people, who make the argument that the show like glorifies mob life. The two characters that I think really demonstrate that is not the case are Chris and Vito. Because
everybody.
Well, yeah, but Chris more so, because Chris, his main issue is obviously his substance abuse, his dependencies on substances. And Chris, I do legitimately think he had what it took to get over that.
Yeah, well, he constantly has triggers, and Tony and Paulie and all of them are pushing, literally like putting drinks in front of his face.
Exactly. Like there's an image they need to keep up, and he couldn't keep with it. His death is one of the saddest.
That's S tier is just 3 sad deaths.
True.
Oh, okay.
But also Chris is fucking hilarious.
You're not gonna believe this. He killed 16 Czechoslovakians. Guy was an interior decorator.
His house looked like shit.
There's so many great like people writing as Chris Moltisanti.
Yeah.
There's a few Twitter accounts I follow that are just like highlights of really bad scripts. And 9 times out of 10, the reply will just be him like typing his screenplay at the table. There's so many great arcs with Chris,
and he wants to be a screenwriter. He's a hothead. he's like, but you're still rooting for him, and I think his death, maybe it's just because I don't want to believe Tony would murder him, even though that's kind of the point. I feel like he was dead anyway. He was coughing up blood.
Yeah, but Tony just sealed the deal.
That's it. I don't want to just survive. It says in these movie writing books that every character has an arc. You understand? Like everybody starts out somewheres, and then they do something gets done to them, changes their life. That's called their arc. Where's my arc?
Peter Bogdanovich.
He is okay.
He's fine. I like that he
kind of turns a little bit. I don't. Maybe it's because I was rooting for Melfi, but like, maybe that's what she needs to hear. But he's telling everyone about Tony and shit. It's like, dude, come on.
Yeah. He is Peter Bogdanovich. I've held this opinion for years. Has one of the most punchable faces of all time. He does. He looks like a. Hold on, just like look at him. Like when you think elitist filmmaker, you think Peter Bogdanovich.
Easily that one.
He's got a fucking ascot. He's just. He makes decent movies. I like The Last Picture Show.
Put it on this one.
But yeah, I like him because he's one of those characters that again works as like a concept, as like a tool, because he helps you get deeper into Melfi's mind, which I think is great. But aside from that, I mean, he doesn't do much. He's solid whenever he shows up. It's funny to me that it's just one of the.
Is there an ice cream truck?
It is an ice cream truck. Doesn't look like it's picking up though.
Sorry guys, there's an ice cream truck.
Looks good.
Kind of creepy.
He's fine. I'd say somewhere in D tier. Just one of those characters that like aren't bad. They're just not substantial enough to.
Him second D tier and put that dude above this dude.
This guy.
Oh god,
he's good.
Again, the arc with him is so good that he might be like high D or low C, just because he doesn't have a lot of screen time.
Yeah, and his death is sad.
Another sad death.
Yeah.
God damn.
That's what happens to all of them.
It's almost like it's not glorifying it. It's almost like
Crazy.
It's like they all die horrible deaths or have like horrible lives at the end.
So again, I feel like D tier is almost like meant for the characters that work as devices rather than characters.
D for devices.
D for device. So where are we gonna put him?
I'd say
top of the D tier, honestly.
His arc is so good. Yeah. None of these other characters really have an arc other than what's his face that sells out Phil, and that's just because his own self-interest. So yeah, that whole arc about him wanting to get out, because like
it's good.
I feel like it answers a lot of questions too. It's like, well, they have all this money, like why don't they just get out? Whatever.
Because
like,
they can't.
They can't.
They really can't. I don't remember his name. He's one of those characters that again he shows up earlier in the show, doesn't have much to do
in the middle, and he comes back towards the end.
Yeah.
I love that line where Tony's like, "Oh, are you gonna come back over for a sleepover or whatever he says at the barbecue?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, fuck."
He's one of those characters that I think really helps the audience first tune into the fact that Carmel's not perfect.
Yeah.
Again, it's not necessarily all her fault. It's both ways, but that kind of corruption, the fact Tony corrupts Carmela, Carmela corrupts this priest. It shows just how like these actions have ripple effects.
Yeah.
I'd say bottom C maybe.
I'd put him mid C. I'd put him above.
Okay. Because again, he's a little more than a device, but he doesn't get much to do. I don't even know who the fuck is this.
That's the guy that gets out of jail towards like probably like season 4 or something, and the whole like conflict with the lawn mowing, the service. The old guys are coming back, the old heads are coming back.
Yep.
And they have different ways of doing things, and
that's what the last season's about, all with Phil.
I think he's a good character. He's pretty.
Put him in D, I guess.
Put him third D.
Above Bogdanovich?
I don't know. No, probably lower because he didn't have as much. Yeah, probably around there. That's probably good.
Finn. I like Finn. He's fine.
I thought he was dead once he found out about Vito. I was like, oh, he's dead. A shot from Battle of Geonosis.
I never asked you what your last name is. It's Detrolia.
When they're in the gym.
The funniest moment of the show. Yeah, he's in like the device tier because he's fine. I do like the little arc where he starts working on the construction sites, and it's so funny watching him just be
terrified
in Satrials and sitting with all of them. He gets pretty one note. His whole thing is that he just he can't adjust to this lifestyle,
which is understandable. It's like if we were thrown into
exactly
that, like
that's why he works again as a device. Yeah. He shows you how one would react.
Yeah.
So
I'm
I would
saying low
say
D. I think this dude's got to be F.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck this is. Oh, also fuck you for Loon Davis. So like here?
Yeah.
Oh, Furio!
Furio!
Fuck is that fucking Zip Furio, somebody?
Furio's A, I think.
Furio.
Where again,
yeah.
they have brief tenures in the show, but they leave big lasting impacts.
Is he alive?
I think
Furio
so.
alive?
I think he is.
I think
Would you put him above?
Above.
Yeah, I think I would too.
He's the muscle. His culture difference is interesting.
Yeah, that episode of They Go to Italy is one of my favorites.
Yeah, me too. Obviously, his subplot with Carmelo is good. I like the subplot where he's debating on killing Tony, and he almost pushes him into the plane blade while they're peeing.
Yeah,
and he's like, "Oh, you're standing really close to it." I'm like,
oh god, it's great.
and he like, you know, he would have treated Carmelo better, but I was not rooting for him
No.
at all. Like I was like, no.
It's funny because he's almost feels like a pulpy romance novel character brought into The Sopranos. He's the long-haired, foreign, sexy dude that tries to take the boss's wife, but they make him really interesting.
Yeah.
It's also scary. Like when he has to do debt collections, he's actually
the first thing he does.
Yeah,
he
he's
beats
actually
people's ass with a bat or something.
Yeah, he's actually scary. I don't know who this is.
That's. I think he's the dude who shoots Patsy's brother.
Okay.
Just put literally who.
Okay.
Wait, that's Gloria too.
Yeah, I was about to say. I think this is not Gloria.
I can't.
This is
The
Gloria.
pictures are so small. I can't.
This
see.
has to be Gloria.
Yeah, that's actually Gloria.
So we'll put her here. I don't know what the fuck this is.
Can you zoom in?
Oh,
that's AJ's fiance.
Oh!
Sorry, the pictures are really small.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
would say
Well, AJ's fiance is probably
F.
around here then. Yeah.
Just not because she's horrible character, but she's fine.
She's attached to one of the least interesting characters.
Well, and I like the whole thing about like they're so rich and privileged.
It was nice seeing that character shows that AJ, you know, he could live up to being a man if he had to. Then they broke up and whatever.
Yeah, like he'd finally turned his life around and found a purpose in being a fiance and a stepdad.
I almost want to put her in the device.
Yeah, let's move her up.
But the thing is about her is that she has like little to no character, unlike these people. That's why bottom of device tier. Agent Harris. I love Agent Harris. I'd say like high C, low B.
I agree.
I like at the end how, again, he feels like another surrogate character because he's getting wrapped up in all of this. He's supposed to be on the side that's taking him down, but he's interested in the developments, and he even goes out of his way. Yeah, he even goes out of his way to help Tony in the end. And I love that scene where it's almost like, because the implication of that scene is that he's in a hotel cheating on his wife.
And the implication also is that he slept with her to get information.
Yes. But in a way that it shows just how like that corruption spreads. Because he's a fucking FBI agent. He's supposed to be tearing him down, but like hanging out with Tony, and you start to act
Supposed to be
like
doing
him
imperialism and shit.
I do love towards the end where Tony just starts like feeding him whatever the fuck. And, like,
Well, that's
Muslim people.
and Tony's a rat too. Like he freaking rats out those people that weren't doing anything.
And again,
they were involved.
This show is very much a reflection of the culture of like the late 90s, early 2000s. And
Bush era.
A lot of that Bush era terrorism, panic stuff comes into this character, and I think it makes it interesting.
Let's go low B.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that.
Hesh. I love
Hesh. Is awesome. He's so like wise and I like when he's in scenes. He has great dialogue.
He's got great dialogue. He's a great actor. He's one of those characters that's sort of like he's complicit but at a distance. And I think what really tips him over to being a really good character is that arc where he bugs Tony about money he lent him.
Yeah. And Tony's a complete asshole about it and super
and he's fucking
anti-Semitic
and he's paranoid and like that paranoia where like he could be next or whatever.
He shows up at his house,
and then there's a great scene where his wife like wakes up dead or whatever. Basically, she dies in her sleep, and then he realizes just how futile this whole thing was. Where Tony like almost mockingly gives him the money after she died. It's great. I'd say A tier, low A.
That's a little high.
You think so? Okay, B. Okay, then top B at least.
Over
Artie? I think so. What? Carmelo's dad.
Device.
Yeah, and he has...
But the thing about Device is he doesn't even have that much to do.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like that they go into business together working on the house and they have fights, but there's not much going on.
That's another thing, like... the culture difference, like the old head contractor and Carmela, and like he's very socially conservative, where he's like, yeah, we need Tony, he's the man of the house. Like after they had separated, that.
And it's also very interesting, just because you can tell Carmela's personality that she obviously had a very devout upbringing, conservative values, religion, all that stuff. But then you see like this guy him and Tony get along really well. And I think that's funny that someone who obviously has such, high morals is just shooting the shit with one of the worst human beings. What's her name?
The Italian Gumar of Tony's.
And she's interesting too. So this one, I forget her name. She just feels like a less interesting version of Gloria to me.
Yeah, and Tony feels bad because she's so young and she has so much ahead of her.
C, maybe D, C, probably D.
No, I think D's getting. We gotta start moving.
You're right.
Oh,
Johnny Sack. I love Johnny Sack.
So do I. He pisses me off, but
he's a great villain.
Supposed to.
He's a great villain.
And he, I gotta give him credit. He sticks to his guns. He is a little, I don't know if irrational is the right word, but he like if you piss him off, he's not very rational.
He's one of those characters I love because he genuinely cares about his wife. The whole.
Is she on here?
Ginny?
Is Ginny on here? No.
That's interesting that Ginny's not on here. That whole arc where somebody makes a crack at his wife, it's so funny, but also you understand it's like a thing that would happen. I love this scene where he goes to his daughter's wedding.
Say hi to Don Ho.
What the fuck?
They arrest him and he's crying, and Phil Leotardo just gives him the dirtiest look. Because again, that's his death is what really sends the show into its like last season.
Well, I mean, fuck yeah, he gets terminal cancer.
Yeah,
out of nowhere, and you're like, jeez.
Him going to jail he's a great character, great villain. I love the scene where he gets arrested.
Yeah, and
Tony.
Oh, in Skyrim.
In Skyrim, yeah.
Still look forward to working with you, John. I mean that.
You want a coffee?
Well, I don't know. Fucking Christ.
Yeah, I would say he's above Furio.
Yeah.
S is like that
Main.
is that's top. I would just say F.
Yeah.
Like he's top F. He's not like a bad character, but he dies so early on.
Yeah.
But his son though.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'd say he's like the top of Device characters.
I'd say low C.
Low C?
He's got stuff to do for like a couple seasons, maybe 2 seasons.
Yeah. He has a thing with Meadow.
That's another.
He gets corrupted as well.
That's another corruption.
He was the saddest thing about Jackie Jr. is that he was on the fast track to being a successful, clean guy.
Yeah, he's super smart, and then he just gets his priorities messed up because he's around these. His role models are all in the mafia.
He's if I remember correctly, he's the one that staged the robbery on the card game. Right?
Yes, yeah, idiot.
Yeah, but again, like he's so desperate to follow in the footsteps of his seniors. But that also that cements that idea of like the old heads versus the new thing, where that would be like a proving tactic in the old days, and now would get you killed. That scene where that like the end of his character when he's like hiding with the guy from The Wire, R.I.P., and just his death scene where Vito has the smallest gun in cinema history.
He's hiding. He's just hiding in plain sight.
So say what? Like C? Janice. This is a tough one.
Okay, I have Janice is very cunning. She's smarter than she leads on. She knows how to like gaslight you and manipulate you into her
She would
advantage.
be amazing in the mafia. And then she isn't. It's funny, yeah. She like inherited all the soprano talents, but she utilizes them for petty shit, and I kind of love that about her.
Yeah, she always finds the next big thing that's gonna, change her life. Like, oh, I found religion, I found meditation, or whatever it is.
She's got one of the biggest bullshit ratios of any character.
Yeah, and she is looking for a purpose in that aspect, and that's why she manipulates Bobby into marrying her, which is kind of weird because she wants that family right after she kills
Richie Aprile.
When she kills Richie,
Which is awesome.
She was looking forward. Yeah, that's a great scene. She's looking forward to like, oh, we're gonna start a family, whatever. I felt so gross while she was doing that, and I was. Bobby's just so pure and a little gullible. She's top. She's up there for me. I would say A probably.
A tier? Okay. Bottom A tier, you think? Maybe
no,
here.
No, she's got to be above Furio.
Oh, okay, sure. Junior.
S.
Mother of fucking mercy. Would you take a sledgehammer to my balls?
You think S?
S. 100% S.
You're right. Again, Junior's one of those characters, too, that he kind of falls off later in the show.
Because he has dementia.
Well, that's true. That's true.
It's... Junior low-key fell off. Ratio plus L.
One of the funniest parts of the whole show is when he thinks he's Larry David.
It's not her. That's Judy. No, it's not Judy.
The fuck?
Yes, it is. Of course it is.
Why am I on there?
Again, I have a soft spot in my heart for dementia stories because it's one of my biggest fears, and like just seeing that gradual decline.
Oh yeah, that final scene is so
fucking.
Because he would always like relish in like the good old days, you know, back, and he would always tell these long-winded stories.
Yeah.
And then at the end, Tony's like, "Yeah, you guys used to run New Jersey," and he's like, "Oh yeah." He does it. All of those things that matter to him, he doesn't.
The proto-Irishman. He's so funny, and I love the fact that when he gets power, he fucks it up because he's kind of inept. He's also the best parts of the Many Saints of Newark.
Yeah, that's the best performance.
Corey had to come in and find the young man version of Junior.
All of Junior's flaws are there. He's petty. He's pissy.
He is a guy who never got the respect that he felt he deserved.
When my brother's away, everything goes through me. You got diarrhea.
Again, he's like that kind of guy who has that lethal edge, but again uses it for petty shit. And the Junior Bobby Chronicles are great.
You were gone a long time. How many White Castle did you have?
I didn't, I swear.
I can smell them.
All right, I agree. Bottom S tier. This guy who
Carmine Jr.
Yeah, to me he really walks in his father's footsteps really well, and I like him because he's the mediator.
Yeah,
he's the voice of reason. He's
and then
always
he fucks
tries
it up with Phil because he brings up his brother, who Tony Blundetto killed.
Yeah, he's like he feels more like a device character, maybe a little below.
I would
his
say
father.
Lowest C probably.
He's
above his father. I think he has more to do.
Okay, yeah, I'll compromise. I don't remember.
I feel like where do you? Because you compromise on a few of mine. So where
I would put him like here.
You think under his
dad? I think
he's
very similar to his dad.
Okay, I would put him above his dad.
Okay.
Just because he has more screen time.
That's true. Like. You're right.
Okay.
I think S.
Even though she's only in the first 3.
Yeah, because again, obviously her untimely death. Yeah. I feel like she would have played a much bigger role. But what makes her really interesting to me is everything about Tony Soprano is in this character. Like, so you can understand everything about Tony Soprano just seeing how shitty Livia is.
You know, I read last week in the paper about this family in St. Louis Obispo in California. That whole family died of trichinosis. That's uncooked pork.
That was last year. That same family.
Listen to him. He knows everything.
I feel like S at this point is just becoming the main family.
I could see her a highest A.
Okay. She walks the line between like being senile and unaware, but also you can tell she knows how to pull strings really well.
Yep.
So much of she leaves a big,
and she plays dumb.
Yeah, she leaves a big impact. She, again, tragically cut short, but I feel if she would have made it to the end of the series, she would have been S tier.
Yeah.
Playing bingo, Olivia?
Oh, not tonight, honey. You know, she's a degenerate gambler.
Carmel's mom, who cares? She's like even less interesting than her dad.
Yeah, she has less to do. Probably have.
Yeah. That's probably harsh. I love this guy because he's part of one of my favorite scenes in the whole show when Tony and Pussy kill him.
You want a Fanta? Something like that?
That's another similar to Jackie Jr. where he's like,
he's trying to prove himself.
I gotta prove myself.
It's like a casualty of this lifestyle. Again, he's like a device character.
And his ego and his almost insecurity where he has to like go out of his way.
Yeah.
I could see D. Really? That high?
Oh, no.
That's really...
You're right. No, you're right. I'd say here. Meadow. Somewhere.
I can see as high as A also, because there's a portion of some of it where she's
No, you're right. You're right. The first half of the show, again, she's same pitfalls of AJ. You're an annoying teenager. A lot of that stuff feels like, contrived family drama stuff.
I don't think it's contrived. Do you think it's contrived? I don't know. I have 3 sisters, and that...
Maybe you're right.
Petty, stupid shit.
Yeah. But towards the end, she becomes one of the best characters. Like, arguably the only pure character. So maybe...
Well, then at the end she gets corrupted because she becomes like this corporate sellout after wanting to be highest A. I'd say. Maybe we can adjust it at the end.
Also, respectfully, she's hot towards the end. Respectfully. Let's say season 5, season 6. Another one of my favorite scenes in the whole show is I don't remember what Tony and Meadow were fighting about, but it's like a few scenes later, everyone's just casually watching TV, watching football in the living room, and Meadow's in the kitchen like doing something, and Tony like gets up off the couch and basically just tells Meadow that he loves her, and it's like one of the most. It's one of those things where like he catches sight of Meadow and something just goes off in his mind. He doesn't want to fight with her anymore. It's one of the most humanizing Tony Soprano moments in the whole show.
Hey. But you know I love you more than anything in this world, right?
Dad, what are you talking about?
I know things haven't been so good with us lately. It's just... if anything were ever to happen to you...
Everybody, come on, dinner.
Melfi. She's another one that, like, toward the end, she doesn't get much to do.
She finally decides...
Yeah.
That... this isn't helping. That whole study about sociopaths, that it actually makes it worse. Which I was curious. I meant to research like, is that true? Probably.
Yeah.
But it was an interesting, like, I remember just being on her side for a lot of that back and forth where it's like she's trying and like there've been progress.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. That's tough. I think she's
somewhere in A.
A. I was gonna say A. I would say maybe right below
Meadow? Between Meadow and Livia?
Oh, I was gonna say Johnny Sack. Maybe right above Johnny Sack. I think Steve Buscemi might be the highest B.
Highest B? Sure.
What do you think?
Yeah, that's fine.
Just I look at this A tier and I'm like, I don't know if he really.
A tier is just shy of perfection. This is the guy who gets murdered on a jog.
He's
whatever. Now, okay, I'm just gonna say this because
he annoys me so much.
That's the thing, is that part of me almost feels like this character is irresponsible in the sense that he's a character that is supposed to be. This is the scene where Tony basically like tells like my daughter's never dating a black man, and that's obviously fucked up. I just wish they got somebody who wasn't so fucking annoying, so I can actually feel the weight of that.
Well, she's
side dick,
or he's Meadow's like first real boyfriend too,
and he's so annoying. He's like a film guy.
Yeah, he pisses me off. Is he F?
Yes,
or is he F because he's annoying?
F because he's annoying. What other reason would you put it in F for? Because his character...
Yeah, but some of these characters annoy me, but they're good characters.
But I don't even think he's a good character. Because again, I feel like if you made that character really likable, then you would feel a lot more conflicted about Tony rejecting him purely off his race.
Well, I mean, that's right when we first meet him, though. And you feel bad for him, because obviously Tony's being racist.
That's true.
So it's like, is he really below AJ's fiance?
Put it here.
If he's F, then I feel like AJ's fiance... And like, Carmela's dad, like, are they really... above him?
You're right.
Maybe Carmela's dad. Maybe Carmela's dad is D. I don't know.
I feel comfortable him being top of F though.
Really?
Just because I remembered his character really well. It's just so brief. Now this whole row we're getting into the heavy hitters.
Oh man.
This guy, I forget his name.
Patsy.
Patsy's great.
Patsy's great.
I like Patsy. I put him in C.
Low B, high C. I like that whole subplot with his brother.
He almost feels like the inverse of Phil Leotardo, because Phil Leotardo can't just like swallow the hit. And this guy...
Yeah, he's like, you'll get over it.
And I like his face. He's just got an interesting face. That's why I love this show, because everyone has such interesting, aged, experienced faces, and he's got one of my favorites. Put him like below AJ. I just feel like here, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Come on.
It's Paulie, he's wearing S tier.
Word to the wise. Remember Pearl Harbor.
He's so fucking funny.
He's
but
very,
he's not.
No,
he has a lot to do.
He has a lot to do. He has a lot of depth to him. Paulie is one of those people that
right
is,
above Aid, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's good. Paulie is like an amazing mixture of loyal and brainless. He does. It's so funny to me that he's the only one who escapes unscathed at the end of the show. He's got one. He exudes this lifestyle. He lived it. The actor did. He's so fucking funny.
He's got the best. He has the iconic Baja Fresh.
You hungry, T? You want to send the kid for Baja Fresh?
He owns the tracksuit.
He does. And I like that he doesn't have kids. He doesn't have a wife, and like
he's the what it shows you, like, if you devote yourself wholly to this lifestyle, you end up like Paulie. Which is one of the greatest scenes of the whole show, where Chris is like,
you ever feel like nothing good was ever gonna happen to you?
And he gives the best response where he just says,
yeah, and nothing did. So what?
Yeah, he's got some great dialogue.
His stuff with his aunt/mother is really sad.
Yeah, he was betrayed.
He was betrayed. Him seeing the Virgin Mary is one of the best scenes of the whole show.
That scared the shit out of me.
It's scary. Him in Italy is another one of my favorite scenes. Where he can't connect to any of the...
What does he say? He just like nods to him or something?
He's just sitting by himself in a great little white turtleneck, and he's just sitting in a little cafe in Italy, and he has his espresso, and he says, like, I don't know, maybe he says buongiorno or something like that.
Yeah, buongiorno.
And then the other guys, like, don't even give him the time of day. He's great.
Commendatore. Buongiorno. Cocksuckers.
Yeah, and he was so excited to connect with his culture, and
he almost feels like a fable. He's hardly a person. It's great. Everything is about him.
He's super fragile. He's a baby, but he also like is the muscle, which is kind of ironic.
It's funny, and I love it. It's multiple times throughout the series, but him and Chris have so many little feuds. It's funny.
Leotardo?
He's a really good villain. Because I feel like he encapsulates that old versus new very well. I won't say he's better. I want to say bottom A tier. Because he's a really good villain. He is basically what fucks up everything.
Yeah.
I just love Frank Vincent, the actor. Goodfellas, he's Billy Bats. Do the Right Thing, Raging Bull, he's great.
I come here in good faith. I make a reasonable account.
Which I considered and rejected.
Do we need to talk in private?
For what?
Okay, then, in front of everybody.
He really wants to be that stereotypical, like, mobster, like, how he dismisses his guys. And
if you're talking, I know the term's lost all meaning, but toxic masculinity, kills the gay guy. He basically mentally disowns Jackie Aprile for crying at his daughter's wedding. He's very much like men should be men. It's interesting. Also, his death is one of the funniest.
Tell the goddamn pharmacist to call Dr. Iaconis. I should get a 60-day supply of the Plavix.
Thank God.
I
would have been so pissed if he survived.
He's such a shithead, and he gets exactly what he deserves.
Yeah.
Hey. Help me, please! Oh, God, they're locked in there! Oh, shit!
It's so funny.
It's just the cherry on top that his head gets crushed.
And he's like the only character that he poses the most threat to Tony Soprano and his family. When he starts hitting, he orders the hit on Syl and Bobby. That's where shit gets real. He's like he's the final boss of the Sopranos.
You want compromise? How's this? 20 years in the can. I wanted manicotti. I compromised. I ate grilled cheese off the radiator instead. I wanted to fuck a woman, but I compromised. I jacked off in a tissue.
Pussy is S tier.
You think so?
I was
gonna say high B.
Really?
Because
oh my God,
because he dies.
Yeah, but his death is one of the most.
It's constantly going back to it. I just learned about that shot where Tony shuts the cabinet and you see him in the mirror for like 2 seconds at post death.
Yeah.
But yeah, his death is like top 3 most impactful for Tony, if not the most impactful.
I was just watching the death scene a few days ago, and one detail I didn't pick up on is like, obviously Pussy, Tony, and Paulie go into the boat. They make a drink. Paulie starts telling a fake story about this masseuse he met down in Miami. And then they're laughing and bullshitting, and then he starts to realize what's going on. When the hit is about to happen, Silvio comes in, and he they get on one side of Paulie, and you can see there are like fresh tears in Silvio's eyes. And Silvio is like one of those people that is all business over everything, and the fact that that brought Silvio to tears just... I don't know. Again, I know we say this a lot, where there's these big turning points in the show. The fact that Tony actually killed one of his longest friends, it's the catalyst for him killing Chris. It's the catalyst for him going full shithead. He leaves a big impact. Also, I don't know. I know he's early in the show, but he's just one of the best characters.
Hey, Push. Do you even really exist?
Yeah, you're right. He's higher up there. I love the scene between him and Tony where they're eating the steaks.
You believe in God?
Yeah, I do, Tom. Absolutely. Works in very mysterious ways, has wonders to perform, but no doubt. He's been very good to me.
So,
I went out to eat the other day and I had a steak, and I just remember thinking about that scene for some reason.
Where Tony tells the joke?
Yeah.
But again, he's another character.
Where's Jimmy? He's fucking Jimmy.
It's Jimmy. It's fucking Jimmy. The Wire. It's fucking Jimmy. The Wire. You understand? The Wire. It's fucking Jimmy.
He's another one of those characters that shows, the scale of corruption that's happening, because the reason he gets fucked over is because he gets greedy and he wants to get into the narcotics trade, and he gets busted for that, and so now he has to be a rat or whatever.
He fools himself into thinking I'll be fine. I'm gonna get into this, and they're like,
"Yep.
Do you not understand what's going on here? Yep. I'm not your friend." But the agent, I feel starts to have that connection with him too.
Yeah, there's just a handful of scenes with Pussy that really, the dream sequences with Pussy, his death, the scene where he has to put on a wire before he goes over to Tony's house.
He's sweating.
It's just, I love him.
But over Meadow?
Yeah.
Really?
Because again, if we're talking about, Meadows consistently throughout the show, but again, she doesn't get really interesting until the second half. Paulie works on a bunch of levels. He works thematically, and he is an early indicator of the stakes of this show. That going against the family in any capacity, no matter how close you are to people, will get you fucking killed. He is the thing that makes Aid's death believable, Vito's death believable. That's why we're seeing him tonight. That's why he's there.
We are.
Because he's a very important character, even though he doesn't last. But the fact that he doesn't last...
You've convinced me. And we're seeing him tonight. So that's the...
Bottom S?
Bottom S.
Fucking Ralph.
He is so fucking obnoxious. He's another hella irrational character.
Yes.
He fucking murders the worker at the Bing for no reason.
Breaking down the character chart, we got lawful neutral, true neutral, and then chaotic evil or whatever.
Neutral?
Lawful evil, neutral evil, chaotic evil.
Yeah, that was another thing. Someone said he represents Satan or something.
He's I don't know. He's pretty fucking unhinged.
Yeah.
He's Sopranos Joker.
You do?
I kind of want to put him between Janice and Furio. I keep wanting to put other villains above Johnny Sack, but I just love Johnny Sack.
I love Johnny. And he's he's a sort of villain.
Yeah. Richie Aprile.
Oh god.
He feels like the prototype for Ralph.
Put my fucking dinner on the table and keep your mouth shut.
Now you shut up.
To me, he feels like the amalgamation of Ralph and Phil Leotardo, where you have Ralph's sort of spur of the moment violent tendencies, and then you also Phil Leotardo's he's got this sort of arrogance to him. He feels, what's the word I'm looking for? He feels like he's owed something because he's spent time in prison, so he comes back and he feels like he owns everyone. And then both sides of this character are explored deeper down the road with Ralph and Phil. I don't think he's as interesting as either of them. Maybe, I don't know.
No, he's very dedicated to his family.
Yeah.
But he's also like a hothead, and he's very like serious all the time. Like people crack jokes, and he doesn't think shit's funny, and like
he's business too. Because again, the fact I love the scene where this shithead, whatever his fuck his name is, he comes like running to Phil Leotardo because
like, what the fuck you want me to?
Yeah, exactly. Where he just says like, we killed Chris. We tried to put a hit out on Chris for you. He was like, well, I didn't fucking ask for that.
Yeah.
And he throws him out and he chases him with a baseball bat.
He hit your niece.
Jesus, are you fucking crazy? That's all I need now for that two-faced ungrateful fuck to think I had any part of this.
You gotta help me, man.
I'll help you.
I'll fucking help you. You gotta hide me. I'm with you now.
Who told you to do that? Get out of here, you dumb fuck! I'll kill you.
And he's got like, again, talking about the faces of this show, he rocks the wife beater. He's got like perfect post-work Italian outfit. I feel like he's somewhere in A. I just don't know where. Maybe
I was gonna say B.
I'm gonna put him above Hesh.
Okay.
Because Hesh, again, side character. She's great. Ro is great. I love Ro.
She's pure, like more pure too.
She's pure, and she has taken so much shit. Her husband died, her son died, and she persists. Also hot.
The scene in Italy with the candles.
Yeah.
And
church.
And Carmela's like trauma dumping on her and like asking her about how do you feel like you're doing so well after Jackie Jr. And she's like, can we not do this right now? Like I'm trying to enjoy my vacation.
But then like she takes so much shit, and then towards the end when shit starts getting real, Phil Leotardo, remember she's there when Tony gets home and realizes that Bobby's been killed, and she's professional even under those situations. She almost feels like a more level-headed like version of Carmela. I don't know.
She's always seems to be, I mean, other than like the traumatic parts, she's usually pretty even keeled. Like even when they do like the girls' night, the movie night, and all that. And then her relationship with
Ralph.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, her relationship with Ralph.
I forgot about that.
And he like dumps her at like the worst time.
Yeah.
Like, oh god,
she takes so much.
C?
A somewhere A. You want to put C?
We have to be.
You're right. You're right.
Okay.
You're right.
You know, B then.
Bottom B.
That feels
Bottom
high.
B. You think
over
so?
AJ?
You're right. Okay, you're right. Right here. Right below AJ. I don't know who this is.
He's at the wedding. He's like one of the old heads. I'm blanking.
Him too.
Yeah.
Silvio is S tier.
Over.
Gabagool. Over here.
Silvio is easy S tier. I
Easy
don't know
S tier.
where.
Easy
I
S
would
tier.
put him maybe
Over Pussy.
Yeah, I would put
Over
him
Junior.
below Bobby. I think what puts Silvio toward the top of S for me is that arc when Tony's comatose.
Yeah, he has to be the number one.
He can't fucking do it. He's like the perfect right-hand man. He's logical. He tries to sort of cut through the more emotional decisions that Tony makes. And again, we discussed this the other day, but the fact that like I don't know how what's this? Why am I blanking on the actor's name? Steve Vanzant.
Steve Vanzant. I kept thinking Gus Van Sant. I'm like, that's not right. Why do I keep thinking that?
But the fact that Steve Vanzant never lets this character feel like a parody is fucking insane.
Yeah.
Just the way he talks, the way he moves his fucking hair.
You can overcook that so easily, and he never does. He's one of the only characters too that like most of these characters are trying to become Tony, or they're trying to, he's fine with his role.
Yeah,
he's good with it.
I would say he's either right in front or right behind Aid. I'm surprised we have this many S tiers. Well,
it's The Sopranos.
Yeah, you're right. She's great. She's like the top of my device tier. She's the Russian one-legged woman who helps look after Olivia Soprano. Tony and her have a brief thing. I like her.
I like her a lot. She might be
above. I'd say that.
Yeah.
I don't remember her name. I feel bad for not knowing her name, but I don't.
There's only so much Sopranos.
No, I agree. I don't know who this is.
That's what's his?
Is that Silvio's?
No, that's fucking Ralphie and Tony have the same Kumar briefly.
Is this the girl that Ralphie kills?
No, she burns her face making eggs for Tony.
Oh yeah. Okay. I don't know if I remember. F.
No.
D. Or literally who?
No, I think D. She has a decent role. Like,
sure.
Put her above Finn.
All right. I don't know this is either.
That's a detective from season 1-ish and 2, maybe. Probably. Whoa!
No,
Whoa!
sorry,
What are
I
you?
meant to do this.
Not literally who. He's the inside knowledge guy for Tony.
Okay. So device.
And then he
Device
kills
tier?
himself. He throws himself off.
Oh
a bridge.
yeah. Okay.
Vito.
I love Vito. He's again one of the more tragic characters of the show.
He survived the Battle of Geonosis.
You know, I never asked you what your last name is.
It's Detrolio.
Finn Detrolio. My arch nemesis.
It's one of the funniest images on the entirety of the internet.
Even before I'd seen The Sopranos.
It's so funny. Vito gets really interesting towards the end when he's like hiding.
He dies after not because he has this new life in Vermont or whatever they are.
He comes back.
Because he comes back.
Yeah.
He probably would have been okay.
Yeah, and again,
because Tony was like, "Fuck it."
And again, the fact that it has nothing to do with his potential as an earner. He's the top earner.
Yeah.
But it's all petty shit.
Yeah, toxic masculinity, homophobic
it's all
shit.
Phil. I can't I can't in good faith put him below Phil. He has to go in A somewhere.
Wow. Okay.
I love Vito. Oh, okay.
I was thinking top.
Okay,
B.
maybe. Yeah, maybe he's B.
He's a silent killer. He has stealth. He kills Jackie Jr. Where was he standing?
I have no
Is this off screen? Fuck it.
So
he's off.
funny.
He's out of frame.
So B, I'd feel comfortable with B.
I feel like Ralph might be a little high.
You think so?
Maybe.
Yeah. You know what? I agree. In B, I would say below Artie, above Richie.
I'm obsessed with that song. It's called The Three Bells.
Yep.
I've listened to it. We're gonna listen to it on the way.
Don't have to.
I like that he helps with the fire and stuff. Like he has more of a moral compass too than comparatively, obviously. But yeah, rip Vito, dude.
Is there any last minute alterations we want to make?
Yeah, I'm looking over it. Pussy at S, because I'm a good person.
That's how I feel about Junior at S. I'll be honest, I would put Junior like mid A.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, if you keep Junior at S, then I'll keep Pussy at S.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good with it. All right, so that is our Sopranos tier list. Thanks for watching. Don't threaten our families in the comments.
Yeah,
and
literally who cares?
Yeah, literally who cares?
You can make your arguments, but I feel like the top 3 rows are pretty objective.
Even we're correct. There's no debate, no debating allowed.
I can see some people maybe not as being as big on Pussy, or maybe even put Meadow higher, or Livia, but I don't know. We're pretty close.
Check out Chandler's podcast, Film Sync.
No, I don't know what it's called.
Okay, we don't know what it's called.
I'll link it.
Yeah, Split Take. We're gonna link it. I'll link it. He's also the writer-director of our upcoming movie that we are working on. That was one of the last videos I made. Hopefully, some other things are happening, but yeah. Bye. I'm just gonna put the Battle of Geonosis in here because I don't know how to end this video.
You know, I never asked you what your last name is.
It's Detrolio.
Finn Detrolio. My arch nemesis.
And the little congregation prayed for guidance from above. Lead us not into temptation, bless, O Lord, this celebration. May their lives be filled